Okay, so it's going now. All right. So, and you're a former military officer. What rank did you get to?
Well, I was in the U.S. Army and Army Reserves for 29 years and retired as a colonel. I also was a U.S. diplomat for 16 years and served in embassies in Nicaragua, Grenada, Somalia, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Sierra Leone, Micronesia. I helped reopen the embassy in Kabul, Afghanistan in December of 2001 and was in Mongolia in 2003 when I resigned in opposition to the war in Iraq.
All right, so what turned you to go to the other side, as it were?
Well, even when I was in government, I didn't agree with all the policies of the 8 different presidential administrations I served under, starting with Lyndon Johnson. But I'd never resigned over any of them. I'd found policies that I could work in that I didn't feel like I was harming anyone. But this decision to have a war on Iraq that had nothing to do with 9/11 was a war of choice for the oil of Iraq, I felt. Was something that I felt was going to be so horrific for the people of Iraq, for sure, but for the destabilization of the region, that I was one of 3 U.S. government employees who resigned in opposition to that war on Iraq.
All right. I've noticed you've done anti-bases work around the world. Why are you doing that?
Well, I think it is very important that we as American citizens, whose government has the most military bases of any country in the world, the U.S. has, the current number they say is around 800, which is down from 1,400 during the Cold War, but still 800 bases, when the total number of international bases or foreign bases by all the rest of the world is 30. So the United States has its empire in other people's countries in a military way, and is disturbing the life of people in those countries, and the forward projection of power in this day and time by putting U.S. military in other people's countries, I think is an outmoded, outdated strategy, and I think it's harmful for U.S. Military policy to do that.
Do you know about the base in Central Australia called Pine Gap?
Yes, I have certainly heard of Pine Gap, the largest array, I think, of radars and communications and spying on the world is located right here in Australia, and is a key component of the United States worldwide surveillance of not only military incidents like launches of rockets and things like that, but it's a part of the surveillance of us as private citizens, the eavesdropping on communications of individuals, violation of our own privacy on a worldwide basis.
A lot of Australians say that Pine Gap will save us if someone attacks us, the Americans will come and save us because they want Pine Gap. That's why we should have Pine Gap.
Well, I think the question to ask is, why should anyone be attacking anyone? I mean, we should be working to have a world where we reduce the tension so that no country attacks another country. And the issue of Pine Gap as a defensive measure for the people of Australia, I think, is a false thought, a false strategy, because indeed we ought to be looking to reduce the tensions, to make sure that no country wants to attack the United States, Australia, or anyone. And by our measures that we take to reduce, not increase tensions. And I think that Pine Gap facility increases tension in the region. It doesn't reduce them.
What would you say to Australians who say that the United States saved us in Second World War, therefore we have to do everything they ask?
Well, I think that should be rethought. That the United States has shown that it has its policies in many parts of the world right now, particularly in the Middle East, have been very poor policies that have destabilized the Middle Eastern region, making all of us less secure. And I think the United States strategy on North Korea particularly is a very dangerous strategy for us all. The isolation, strategic patience is increasing the tensions, not reducing them, and the purposeful provocations toward China are not reducing tensions, they're purposefully increasing the tensions so that the military-industrial complex of the United States and other parts of the world will make financial benefit from all of this.
What's your main message for your trip to Australia?
My main message as I zoom through Australia and go to other places is that we as citizens have the responsibility of challenging our government's policies. And if we think our government is going off on a tangent, we need to call their hand on it, and particularly on the issue of national security. It's the easiest thing in the world for the government to scare the people by the threats that they project onto us and demand the loyalty toward ill-conceived policies and programs that they cook up. So my message to Australians is don't trust your government. Challenge them every opportunity you have, and don't put up with wasting your money on an overabundance of military when we can't even get basic things like education, health, and things like that for our own people.
And Wright, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All the success for your trip to Australia.
Thank you.